everybody, and welcome to tonight's coverage of Race 2 of the inaugural season of the Champions Motorsports Truck Series. Tonight, we are in North Wilkesboro as we go short track racing from the North Wilkesboro Speedway. My name is Alec Martinez, and joining me in the booth tonight as my producer and my partner and colleague, Eddie Smith. Eddie, last week we went to Texas Motor Speedway. We're put on and treated a heck of a first race, and now we're here in Wilkes County for some short track racing. I got to ask you, what should we expect from these drivers and these trucks as they tackle this worn-out surface?
Well, a track left for dead has been revived thanks to efforts of Dale Earnhardt Jr. and iRacing, faithfully recreated on iRacing as it was back in 1987 in all its short track glory. This fast short track provides some incredible racing with its unique uphill backstretch and downhill front stretch, but beware of the bumps in turn one, as it can be an easy way to end your day or others, man. North Wilkesboro, fantastic raceway, legendary track located in North Wilkesboro County, or Wilkes County, excuse me, in North Carolina. Just such history in the track, and it's just an amazing speedway. I was so glad to have NASCAR back there, and excited to be here tonight. Opened in 1947, and man, had some really great racing throughout the years, and it had its final farewell race in 1996 where Jeff Gordon takes home the win. And then here in the last year with the All-Star race this year, revived and repainted, a little paint job, a little TLC, tender love and care, and we're back racing on it. And iRacing, here we are in the Champions Motorsports Truck Series tonight. A little over half a mile, 24,000, and like I said, the uphill, downhill on the front stretch and backstretch makes it so unique. So looking forward to it tonight. It's going to be a blast, Alec.
Yes, it is, as the trucks have taken onto the racetrack here for qualifying, as the qualifying trim has been loaded here tonight on these trucks here before we get to take the green flag race, or the green flag for the 150 lap race here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. And like you said, closed in 1996, was won by Jeff Gordon, came back this year in 2023 for the NASCAR All-Star race where Kyle Larson absolutely whoop the field, as they say, and I think somebody's going to be hoping to do that tonight, as so far Dennis Crosby has put it on the pole, as Brett Steffens. A lot of new names here this week, and it's good to see. I know we're missing a few key guys from last week. Jose Ramirez is unfortunately not here, so some different players are going to be in this field. I think that's going to, as you can see there, that bump at 3 and 4. Going to catch some drivers out there, as I believe that, who is that, the 63?
Yeah, we got the 62 of Rodney Campbell out on the track right now making his lap, and we got a little camera with him tonight. Let's go check him out. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk to him. As he spins out, he gets into the wall. You can see he's having trouble. And a little disappointment on the face of Rodney as he ends his qualifying a little bit early, but going to start in the 12th position. But, so already some trouble for some guys as Rodney looking a little dejected right now as he is, you see the shoulders kind of slump down immediately going, that was my opportunity to start up a little bit better. And Alec, starting up front is really important in a short track like this.
It is. It really is. We talk about short track racing. We talk about the trucks. These trucks do damage model. You're going to be able to see a little more contact like you would see in the real truck series. You won't really have to worry about tire or fender rubs, but I think that's going to be something we're talking about. We know short track racing, notorious for contact, beating and banging, crushed fenders, hurt feelings. That's just what short track racing is, and I think tonight we'll see no other than that. North Wilkesboro, one of the most famous short tracks in all of America, and it's good to see the Champions Motorsports Truck Series just coming here and seeing these guys in the trucks being able to kind of showcase their skills. We talk about these guys being mainly a road course racing series, but it's good to see these drivers tackle ovals. And North Wilkesboro will certainly be a challenge with how much tire fall off we see. And I think, North Wilkesboro is going to be somewhere where we're going to see, especially in 1 and 2, you're going to see guys try to spread out. Some guys will diamond the corner. Some guys will try to get on the apron there and hook that white line. And some guys might go up to the wall and try to carry that outside lane. It's just North Wilkesboro, especially in 1 and 2, offers such great racing. And you'll see a wide lanes here, and I think 3 and 4, like we saw in the real races this year at Northwest. I think you're going to want to be on that inside lane next to that curb and that wall down there. You got to be easy there, and the Toyota Care TRD was it the TRD Pro Tundra of Kevin Ayers on the racetrack here, just turning some laps.
Yeah,
Always good to have
getting a little
extra track
practice.
time.
Yeah, getting a little
Yeah,
practice.
get a little practice. As a minute left to go in the session, I believe everybody has taken to the track except Chris Hudson. So
Yeah, let's take a
Miguel
look at the
Colon.
standings. Let's take a look at the standings. What do you say?
Yeah. Last week, let's go to the point standings as they'll come across your screen for the Champions Motorsports Truck Series. Last week, Kyle Smith took home the win in race 1 over Scott Kennedy, who's now 5 points behind. Jose Ramirez going to be trailing about 6 points behind in third. And you got Miguel Colon, Stephen Knight, Dennis Crosby, JT Tammy, Tim Collier, Doug Betts, David Anderson, the top 10. Then Rodney Campbell, Anthony James, Alex Maynard, Warren McGarry, Jacques Richard, Pierre Robitaille, and Thomas Fisher were the 17 trucks that took to the racetrack last week. And like I said, a few new names will be taking the racetrack here tonight. So you'll see that those point standings even go probably to about 25, as I believe another 6 or 7 guys have shown up for tonight. And a big thing here for Miguel Colon starting on the pole. So Dennis Crosby will be on his outside. But man, I'm looking forward to this race. And I think another thing we have for the points as well is the over 50. If you're over 50 years old, the Champions Motorsports guys have put together the over 50 bracket, and that's led by Stephen Knight in the 16. He's got 32 points, where Tim Collier, who's not here tonight, is 29 points. Then David Anderson, Rodney Campbell, Anthony James, Alex Maynard, Warren McGarry, Jacques Richard, and Pierre Robitaille in the 50 is 50-year-old car. And we will go to the grid here as Miguel Colon has put it on the pole with a 18.297, so a good lap from him. Dennis Crosby will be rolling to his outside. And in row 2, we'll have Kyle Smith, last week's winner. Next to him will be Brett Steffens in the 86. Row 3, we'll have Doug Betts in the number 3 truck, and David Anderson will be to his outside. Row 4, we'll have Brian Schabelsky in the 85 with Stephen Knight starting in 8th. Anthony James will roll off 9th, and Michael Parker will roll off in 10th.
Yeah, in 11th, Kevin Ayers, and 12th is Mike Tyler. A new name here tonight. Jay Dargett and Scott Kennedy. Rodney Campbell in that 15th position. Ricky Wall in 16th. 17th, Gabriel Albano, and Cameron Perez in 18th. Alex Maynard in 19th, and Chris Hudson in 20th. And that rounds out the grid.
As field for the Hot 125 from North Wilkesboro. Eddie, got another lap of pacing here before the pace truck will pull off. Who's your pick here for tonight?
Well, I feel pretty good about Miguel. Seems pretty fast, but I got Doug Betts. My bet's on Doug Betts, and let's take a look at the race analysis, and we'll see exactly what to expect tonight. We're in the trucks, open setup. They can wrench and turn as much as they want. 150 laps, one fast repair, and one important thing: no lucky dog. You got to stay on the lead lap here tonight.
Yep, staying on the lead lap is going to be key, especially at a short track with 150 laps. If they can go green, what will that do for tires? Tire wear will be a thing, and I have to tell you, I think my pick, I'm going to go with Dennis Crosby in the 22. I think he showed some speed last week, and why not show some speed this week as the trucks will go through 3 and 4, and the pace truck will pull off, and the field will be in the hands of Miguel Colon and Dennis Crosby. Into the restart zone they go. Green flag is out, and we're underway from North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, great start there, side by side, and we got 3 wide in the back.
Yes, 3 wide all over the racetrack, but battle for the lead between Dennis Crosby and Miguel Colon. Oh, Kyle Smith gets help from Doug Betts. Smith overcorrects it into the outside wall, and he gets nailed by Stephen Knight, and a wreck early in the race. Last week's winner into the outside wall, and Stephen Knight collected with him.
Unbelievable. On the second lap, I mean, they didn't really even make it to the second lap. And last week's winner, your points leader, Kyle Smith, is going around, start in that 3rd position, and now all the way back to 19th with that damage. And, man, 150 laps, having it go wrong here on lap 2 is not what you want to do. Just one of those things there.
Yeah, that looked like Doug Betts. We want to take a replay here. And what happened here? Lap 1, turn number 3. It just looked like Doug Betts is a little aggressive. I don't know if he misjudged the braking point of Kyle Smith, and he got into the back. And we'll get an instant replay here between what happened to the 55 and the 3. The 3 just gets into the back bumper. It looked like he had it corrects to the outside wall, and then Stephen Knight, who was running up on the third lane, had really nowhere to go, and he slams into the 55, and I believe Cameron Perez also made some contact with the number 3 of, the number 14 of Stephen Knight. Unfortunately, he's going to lose a lap, and that is going to cost him a little bit. Not sure how much damage he's got. I know Kyle Smith, it looks like he took his fast repair, I think, from what I could tell. So that truck is back to brand new. Stephen Knight stays on the racetrack, but you got to think with Stephen Knight, how much damage does he have pushed in that radiator? But we'll get on board. Just looks like he carried a little bit too much speed there into the corner, spun him around. And like I said, we didn't break the orange zone. And for those who are tuning in, if you're a new viewer, the orange zone in the Champions Motorsports Truck Series is there cannot be a caution within the first lap of the restart or start. And if there is, it'll be single file restart, the next restart. So this upcoming restart will be single file. If they can get more than a lap, we'll get double file restarts throughout the event. So we'll see what happens here. Is Kyle Smith, like you said, points leader already, going to have to dig himself through a hole back to 19th. And as well, Stephen Knight, heavy damage to that Toyota Tundra TRD Pro.
Yeah, lights out on the pace truck, and like you said, going to be a single file restart. And Doug Betts actually takes the EOL. He said, "Yep, that's me." He raises his hand, and race control sends him to the back. So, in that orange zone, if you cause an accident, you're going to be sent to the back, and Doug Betts is going to go back there. So my pick already struggling here, but green flag is out here on the restart here on lap 5 for Miguel Colon. So single file should be able to get through 1 and 2 without much issue, and it's going to kind of get spread out here. Short track single file restarts, it can be tough if you're at the back. So those folks like Cameron Perez, Doug Betts, Stephen Knight, they're going to have to make sure that they stay with this field, don't get too far behind.
Yeah, Betts and Smith making their way already through the field, battling so far. If we pull up the side-by-side, Kyle Smith taking it 3 wide, almost makes contact with Maynard and Albino as Smith is working his way up through the field, as Crosby and Cologne still battling for position, or actually, I should say Crosby and Brett Steffens are battling here, and Steffens in the 86 truck, he's up into the 3rd place position. Anthony James in the 216, Brian Shabelsky. These guys kind of stacked up from 2nd all the way back to 5th. The little gap between Anderson to David Anderson and Kevin Ayers, Jay Dagger are going at it. As a caution is coming out, we got trouble. Cameron Perez is around off of turn 2, and I believe Alex Maynard might have also been involved, but the 24 truck goes around, and that brings out the 2nd caution of the night.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this before the race, and we just didn't know how last week was super clean, at a big racetrack like Texas, but here at this track, it's just a short track. Guys are fighting for position. There's really only one line here, and so it's going to be a lot of drivers fighting for the same positions, and I think that's exactly what's happening here. As we'll try to go back and see if we can get a replay of that from Cameron Perez's point of view. And it looks like he tries to get down to the inside of, I can't really see who that is. I think it is Alex Maynard. And we'll go check out that replay right now as we're on board with Cameron Perez.
So you can see Perez going into turn 1, battling there with Alex Maynard. And we talk about this track, the bumps. Yeah, he just gets into the back of the 243, and then he clips the grass, goes around. Honestly, I don't think that would have been a caution if he doesn't clip the grass there, but clipping the grass there, spinning the 243 around of Maynard. Maynard, I believe, kept it on the racetrack and will not pit. So my question then becomes, Cameron Perez, he's 1 lap down. He's going to have to hope for a long run and a caution to fall his way. Is outside the orange zone, so we'll get a double file restart. But Miguel Colon has started on pole, and he's led every single lap, 11 laps to be exact. So far off to a good start for the 87. I believe he got 4th last week at Texas after a pretty wild finish. Coming in line between Kyle Smith, Jose Ramirez, Scott Kennedy, and I believe Miguel Colon was also a part of that. So Texas is definitely a little more cleaner than North Wilkesboro has been. But we talk about short track racing, the close quarters action, bumper to bumper, beating and banging. That's just what you're going to get when you get here. at North Wilkesboro. So the trucks will line up double file, and I believe the pace trucks lights will go off. So this will be interesting to see here. And then the question becomes, you get all these cautions. How does that affect pit strategy? We know, not really sure how much fuel these guys, or how much laps they can get on fuel. I'm going to assume that you're going to probably want to pit for tires more than you're going to be concerned for fuel. So,
yeah, I don't think so. I think this iteration of North Wilkesboro is pretty easy on the tires, but you just never know. I think these guys can probably go pretty far on tires. We'll see. But if you got a chance, we have 3 total sets. So you're going to have to save it. On the list it says 3 total sets, so I don't know if they mean 1 in the pits or 1 on the car and then 2 in the pits. The tires. The limit is 3. So they only have 2 sets to put on. So nobody needs to be coming down for tires right now. You need to save as many of those tires as you can. You're only going to get 2 pit stops. So I think track position, staying out on track is going to be important. With only 3 sets, I think you kind of have to just stay where you are and pit. If we get a caution around lap 60 or so, I think that's when maybe you would come in. But we'll see how they play it here. Is it coming to green?
Yeah. Into the restart zone they'll go. Miguel Colon gets back on the accelerator, and he'll pull away from Dennis Crosby. Although Crosby keeping him on his toes here as they go side by side, 2-3 rows deep. Crosby clears for second. The battle for third between Anthony James and Brett Steffens. And then here comes Brian Shabelski as well. He's also closing into the battle for third. So far, Colon holds on to the lead. He'll lead another lap. Battle on for third here.
Yeah, I see a lot of guys jumping up to the outside, trying to make that work. That outside line will work for a couple laps as the tires have cooled off under caution. But the problem will be after 2 or 3 laps, the tires are going to get hot, and you're going to see that high line just completely die. And so these guys are going to be fighting down to get to the bottom. And as we see Anthony James trying to make that topside work, but you see right behind him, the 85 of Brian Zabelski, he is going to fill that gap right under him. So Anthony James, if he doesn't get down quickly, may not have another opportunity. That high side just not going to last long.
No, it doesn't look like it will. Shabelski now to the inside of Anthony James. Brett Steffens keeps the third place position, but the battle for fourth raging on. And how about Dargert? He's closing up here as well. The 57 truck closing up. That's Chevy Silverado getting closer to the Ford F-150 and the other Chevy Silverado. As it looks like James will be able to tuck into fifth. But Dargert, he's really starting to put the pressure on these guys. He started up in the 13th position, and look at that, up into sixth.
Yeah, I mean, he's been making a lot of good moves, being smart, and that's exactly what you need to do with this track. It takes a lot of patience. He's going to get a run down here to the inside of Anthony. Anthony drives deep into the corner. He's going to push him up the track. That's going to give Jay the drive off. That's going to be the most important thing. But here it's all about patience. You've got to be patient to make these passes. It's very, very difficult. It's hard to make it quickly. You just don't have the power to get it done as fast as you would like. And Anthony James going the wrong direction. He had made up a lot of spots from where he started, but right now on the outside of Jay Dargert. So Anthony going the wrong way.
Yeah, James falling back there and almost gets to the back bumper of the 57. Dargert takes fifth away, and James, like you said, struggling on the long run pace here. Here comes the 78. David Anderson looking to his inside. Kevin Ayers right behind them. He's closing up on these 2 trucks, so about to make it a 3-truck battle. And Kyle Smith is starting to work his way up through the field. Ricky Wall loose off of turn number 2, able to get it gathered back up, but pretty packed up back here, as you can see, the battle for the 6th position.
We got a wreck.
We got trouble on the front stretch. Is that Chris Hudson around in the 43 truck?
Yeah, gets hooked there off of the corner and goes around in that Richard Petty STP 43 truck and goes around, does a little 360 and drives away. But just a little hook there and sends him down to the inside wall.
I'm curious to see what happened there. Get a replay there. Chris Hudson looking like he got a little help maybe off of turn number 4 there. And let's get an instant replay. As got loose right in front of Kyle Smith Man, Kyle Smith just can't seem to get away from trouble tonight as the 43 goes up into the inside. Well, not too much damage. Unfortunately, I don't think that was really Kyle Smith's fault.
I don't think
43
so.
got
Yeah.
loose and was really an innocent bystander, but Smith has kind of been in the middle of trouble all day, so I think he wants to hope this race gets a little bit of green flag racing. I'll tell you what, I think the 57 of Jay Dargert, he's going to want to get this green flag run. That truck seemed to be coming alive as the run went on. That 57 has been on the move here so far, but Miguel Colon, though, he's been in a league of his own so far, just been able to kind of,
Oh, no, you didn't. Broadcaster curse Miguel Colon as his connection looks to have dropped. We'll see if he comes back.
Oh, my
goodness. No, that's not good.
I think he has dropped.
Yeah, haven't seen him drop out of the session just yet. Oh, he's back. Oh, thank goodness. Yeah.
Yeah. A close call there because he was a few seconds from being kicked out. And that would have really changed the complexion of this race if he was to lose connection. So, but that Toyota Tundra TRD Pro is really been on the rails so far.
I'll tell you what, let's show some people on camera tonight. We got some folks. Yeah. We got Dennis Crosby. He is in second place. Got the driver cam here tonight. So got a bunch of guys. Got the Ford banner in the back. And so definitely appreciate these guys. Can't wait to show them off and see how they do here tonight. And then we've been waiting on him, but David Anderson finally got his camera going.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, old David Anderson got it rolling, and you can tell he is thinking. He's doing some strategy. He's got a lot of focus going on right now as he is trying to figure out what to do. And you can see
talking to the team, talking to somebody there, wondering what he could do maybe to get some more track position. He was on the move as well in that battle with James. So good to see these guys talking with who they're working with, and it's good to see the communications between others. As I think he's got a nice cold beverage to go along with him for tonight. Is short track racing now, and this gives us time as we're under caution here to give a shout out to the sponsors, IRTS, the one of the top levels of esports competition, and Champion Circle as well. You can subscribe to their Discord as well. So we got the Champions Circle as well. So IRTS powered by the Champions Motorsports, then Champions Motorsports, and they do a great job. Competitive iRacing leagues from anywhere from iRacing to Assetto Corsa, all over. You can name it. Sim racing, and then Storm Gang Simulations. Those guys in-house modeling, top level for R Factor 2. And if you're a member for the Champions Motorsports, you can get exclusive offers and enjoy their race content as the pace truck will pull off to pit lane and back into the Geico restart zone. Miguel Colon will go, and he's back on the accelerator. He goes, and decent enough restart, but Crosby in that Ford F-150 pulls side by side. Oh, contact! Danger goes around. He'll go to the infield grass. Everybody avoids, and he'll save it, but losing valuable track position goes Jay Dargert. Oh, and now the 43 of Hudson up into the air. Down the backstretch, contact with Stephen Knight.
Oh, my goodness. Ooh.
A hard crash for the 43 of Chris Hudson. Whole truck off the ground. I think he might have hit the opening of the cross gate, and that truck went up into the air, and then he got nailed by Stephen Knight, and both of those trucks into pit road. And man, that was all. I think that all kind of started with the 85, or sorry, the 57 getting loose underneath the 85, and it just stacked everybody up behind, and then there was just contact everywhere. Get an instant replay here on board with the 43 of Chris Hudson. You can see the smoke. You see Dargert gets it saved. He tries to shoot the gap 3 wide middle, gets contacted. Oh my goodness, what a hit into that opening, and then that truck up on 2 wheels. Honestly, all 4 wheels came out the ground. I don't know if we have a TV camera up, like a normal TV camera. I want to go back and just see the air that the 43 truck got. I mean, that was a hard hit. And we'll go back once again and just see, as you can see, these guys 3 wide there out the corner. There just wasn't enough room. I know he's trying to give room there. Oh my goodness, up on the side of the 43. That is something you don't really see on short tracks.
Yeah, you really don't. It's just the perfect storm there that he hit that that opening in the track. But yeah, just I think some guys were maybe checking up for that for the 57 getting loose. Everybody was just kind of eyes on that, not really watching what was going on. And the 43 Chris Hudson was trying to shoot the gap there and just was hoping that the fella outside of him would have backed off maybe a little bit. And unfortunately, they make contact, and that's going to end the 43's race tonight.
Really, really hard hit for the 43, and I believe he has unfortunately pulled it into the garage, and like you said, has ended his night prematurely. And now Stephen Knight, who was high up in the points, leading the 50-plus category, is unfortunately probably not going to be leading that category now, as he's running 19th, 4 laps down, and still in the pits getting service to his truck. But unfortunately, it might be the end of his night, at least for a good finish. And first guy to bring it down to pit road was Jay Dargert. And then Cameron Perez also brought in, but Perez 1 lap down in the 24 truck. Is now 18 trucks remain on the racetrack, 1 out in the garage and the other in pit lane still. But man, a lot of incidents early in this race. I know we're only 30 laps into this race, but definitely a lot different tempo than we saw at Texas.
Yeah, I mean, you're clumping all the drivers together, putting them in a box, and that's what happened. That's why we love short track racing. That's why they put fenders on them. These guys driving hard. I see some guys really overdriving the corner, and that definitely doesn't help. So that makes it tough, but something to keep your eyes on. I mean, Kyle Smith, who is up in 9th right now, he came down and pitted a few laps ago and took 4 tires. From what I can tell. So
yeah, he did.
Kyle Smith is going to be on fresh tires. That's your last week's winner, and somebody to be watching. I think that 55 is going to be on the move.
He is, as the pace truck is pulled off, and we're back underway as Miguel Colon back onto the lap pedal and away from Dennis Crosby in the 22, Brett Steffens in the 86. The battle for 4th, Anthony James, Brian Shabelski battling side by side. James has to back out of the gas. Shabelski holds on to the spot. Will we be able to get maybe more than 5 laps? We saw it's been a while. We haven't really gotten a long run. If we get a long run, who's going to have that pace? Although Miguel Colon has been on another level, already up to a half a second lead. The stack up is where we see Dennis Crosby, Brett Steffens, Shabelski, Anthony James. These guys all battling for second. How about Kevin Ayers in the 58? He's also on the move, on the charge in that Toyota, the Toyota TRD Pro.
Yeah, I mean, so far your biggest movers are Alex Maynard, Scott Kennedy, Kevin Ayers, and Anthony James up 6, 5, and 4 spots respectively. So guys on the move, taking advantage of some of these incidents. And then we got guys in the back. Doug Betts, who went all the way to the back after that first incident, he is already back up into the top 10. So guys on the move, comers and goers, and Anthony James just getting rooted up out of the groove there by Kevin Ayers, and move Kevin Ayers up in the top 5.
Ayers up into the top 5, gets past the second Ford F-150 in the top 5, and pretty much the entire this entire top 5 kind of mixed up of manufacturers. 3 Toyotas, 1 Chevy, 1 Ford. So far, if you're keeping tallies on the manufacturer battle, is back here Kyle Smith battling with David Anderson. Smith, involved in the lap 1 incident, has recovered and has made his way up through the field, up into 7th place. Goes last week's winner in that Toyota TRD Tundra Pro. As the 55, Kyle Smith up inside the top 10, and Doug Betts not too far behind him, up in 9th, trying to get 8th and trying to get by David Anderson at 78.
Yeah, if you're Kyle Smith, who is just continuously marching forward, I think if you took those 4 tires, which he definitely did at 14.5 seconds in his pit lane, you got to take advantage of them now. You got to take advantage of your tires now. You got to drive up through the field, get up to the front, and sort of try to pull away a little bit, because you're going to be down a set. So you got to get as much track position. His caution comes out.
I think it's Alex Maynard, and the 243 is around. Yeah, I believe the answer is Genesis Chevrolet has gone around in the middle of 3 and 4. He'll get it righted and pointed into the right direction. Get a replay on that too. But I want to say with Kyle Smith, he pit only 3 laps before the race started. And I think that was because he got in that first lap incident. He spun out. I think he got some fresh tires because of him spinning out. So I don't know if he has too much more fresh tires than the guys that are ahead of him. But unfortunately, the 4th caution of the night has come out for Alex Maynard. I don't know if we got a replay here. We'll take a look at what happened.
Yeah, we'll take a look at a replay real quick. Else we'll set it up. Yeah,
Yeah,
just like the
see
57 of Jay Dargert was right behind Alex, and they're going to go down in the corner. Jay sees a little opening here, and he's going to shoot the gap, and just, gets him.
Just wasn't there in contact between the 57 and the 243. Good, great avoidance from Cameron Perez there in the 24 truck. He just missed the 243 spinning around, and we have 43 laps. I wouldn't say all 43 laps have been run under green flag conditions, but at least 20 or so. Do you want to bring it in here? Is this where you're going to want to bring it in?
If I'm at the back, yeah, why not? We've already seen it's going to trend a little bit towards yellow flag racing. So if it was me and I've yet to come down pit road, this is the time in the race I've come down pit road. I've got 3 sets. I'm right before lap 50. It's going to give me fresh tires and be able to try to make up a lot of ground. You're right about Kyle Smith.
Rodney Campbell.
He's got a few, just a few laps, but not enough. But I think if you go down pit road, you said Rodney Campbell coming down pit road now.
Yeah, Rodney Campbell. Only taker into pit road at the moment, other than Cameron Perez, I believe, is getting damage fixed. So, I believe, Rodney Campbell will be interested to see his
the jack's
move
going
up to
up,
the field. Yeah.
Oh, it looks like he only took 2 tires. Oh, I don't know about that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it'll fit his handling better. And I'll tell you what, before that caution came out, Dennis Crosby was getting some pressure from Brett Steffens in the 86. That truck was starting to make his way up through the field, and just before that caution came out, he pulled next to him. He just wasn't able to complete the pass before the 243 got spun around. So I'm not sure. I think that was outside the orange zone, so I believe we'll have double file restarts this time. But looking at the lap times, I think Cologne, he's by far, I think, the best. I think he's looking like he's the truck to beat here tonight. I mean, every single lap, he's got the clean air, he's got the track position, and so far he's been able to hold on to it. And I'll tell you what, though, I will say, I'm noticing these Toyotas, they are coming up through the field quick. I mean, you look at the 86 is up there, the 87. You got the 58 of Ayers has been up there. Kyle Smith has been on the move. So I think these, from what I'm seeing, the trucks that are Toyotas that are sponsored by Toyota seem to have a little bit of pace in those trucks. So interesting to see what's happening here between this field. This field, like you said, comers and goers. Anthony James qualified well. He's back to 6. He's been able to hold on. He just hasn't been able to make his move up. And we talk about the pit stops, open setups. Well, the one great luxury of open setups, it's up to you to make changes, up to your team, your crew. What changes do you want to make to these trucks? Do you want it a little bit looser? Are you struggling with front turn, rear grip, any forward bite? That's, I think, going to be a big factor. Once these guys pit, what adjustments will these teams make as into the restart zone will go? Miguel Colon gets back under the gas, and you can see the 86 spinning the tires. It allows Crosby to hold on to second. But the battle now, here comes Brett Steffens on the inside.
Yeah, Miguel having no issues on the restart, being able to control those restarts, and he's just able to pull away, and these guys having to fight. Yeah, you're starting to see the difference of old tires versus new tires. That outside line is not where you want to be. Dennis Crosby probably just frustrated right now, trying to get back down to the bottom. Just see the truck through the middle just does not want to turn. We'll see if Brian gives him a little break here, but yeah, it's going to be tough. He probably you don't want to fight too hard, allow somebody to get behind, get up there and fill that gap down on the bottom. So I would imagine Dennis want to try to get back down to the inside as quickly as possible. He is really driving it in there, trying to keep that position.
He is, as you can see, side by side for third. Shabelski on the inside of the 22 of Dennis Crosby. Shabelski able to get the drive off the corner. Shabelski up to third. Brett Steffens to second, and he's starting to put a little pressure on Miguel Colon as Ayers in fifth. Kyle Smith has worked his way up into sixth. Top 6 now, starting to pull away. Doug Betts gets by Anthony James for 7. And then single file all the way back to about the 13th position with Ricky Wall and Michael Parker. But right now, top 2 closing up. And it seems like Cologne hasn't been able to get out to that 2-second lead, that 1.5-second lead that he's been able to get out as Brett Steffens putting a little pressure on him, not too much. But Shabelski, fastest truck on the track that last lap, almost in the 18-second bracket.
Yeah, he is definitely moving. I think he was trying to be patient there. He started in the 7th position and has already found his way up into the podium position of 3rd place. And he is definitely fast. He's turning consistently faster lap times than the 2 leaders. So just being patient here on this long run, 52-lap-old tires. And Zabelski looks to have it set up real nice on this long run.
Hoping for a long run here as James has lost another position to the 78 of David Anderson and that truck in as well. I mean, Anthony James has really been on the struggle bus here tonight. That truck is just not cutting the center like it wants to. I've been looking at him. He just doesn't have the front grip. He doesn't have the rear grip either. He's just tying in the center and loose off and entering the corner. This is allowing Jay Dargert to close up in this battle for ninth. As Scott Kennedy had a good run last week in Texas, kind of struggling here. He said he'd never seen this racetrack last week in his interview, and hoping he can get a little more spots here. I think probably not satisfied with being outside the top 10 in the 03. Rodney Campbell, those fresh tires seem to be working all right. He's gotten by Ricky Wall, Alex Maynard, now trying to pass Gabriel Albino as on board with the 57 of Jay Dargert. He gets by the 216 of Anthony James, and Dargert up into ninth and getting some more spots inside the top 10. This battle for the lead continuing. I'll tell you what, it's a three-horse pony show at the dog races, as the good Travis Brown, Moonhead would say, on Twitch. Oh, we got trouble. Is that Scott Kennedy is around? As soon as I talk about him,
yeah.
Scott Kennedy goes around off of turn number 2, and the 6th caution of the night will fall. And now, what do you do? What are your tires saying? So we're going to bring it into pit road as we got an instant replay here for Scott Kennedy. Let's see what happened here. Battling with the, looks like he got a little help from Mike Tyler in the 245.
Yeah, just goes in the corner, and Tyler just a little bit too hot into the corner, gets in the back end, and once you're in the middle of the corner and it's all loaded down like that, the rear end's super light, and he just goes around. But these guys have been doing a great job of while they're wrecking, they're really not having big damage unless you're Chris Hudson, who went flying through the air. So Scott Kennedy, while he's going to lose a few spots, got away with one there. That truck looks really, really solid.
Harmless spin, as they say. Now the pits will be open. Will there be any takers is the question. As into pit road, Miguel Colon does not bring it in, and neither does Brett Steffens, I think. Might be a scoring issue.
Yeah, they all stayed out, so
we're
impressive
good,
to see these guys not come down pit road.
I believe Anthony James brought it in. I think he was hoping for some changes to that car. Yeah,
Ricky Wall,
Gabriel Albino brought it in. Ricky Wall brought it in. I think that's. We saw Anthony James. He was struggling to get turned in that truck. So I'm curious to see what adjustments he made, and hopefully made that truck better. And I think now you look at it, we've got probably 30-something laps, 40-something odd laps on the tires.
Yeah, well, right now, I mean, these guys have got 60 laps on their tires. But, that's one thing I was wondering about. The tire wear is important. I think we'll see these 4 tires, Anthony James, Gabriel. But I think what we're seeing here is just a tire, a track position call. I want to stay up front. Only got 2 more sets. Don't want to burn one unless I absolutely have to. But I think whenever Miguel decides to come down pit road, I'm pretty sure everybody else will follow. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the real question, you look at this lap 75, that halfway mark, is that when you want to bring it in? If we get a caution, either past that or right at it. As double filed up, lights are off on the pace truck, and that means the pace truck will make the. No, it won't. Lights are back on. I don't know if they had a lap or if I was just wrong, but it seemed like they were ready to go, and then they didn't. So
yeah, I mean, you're excited. I'm excited, and I think the whole field is too. Is we do get the one to go this time by. So Miguel going to continue to try to keep this dominance going. I mean, I'm just really impressed with him.
Man, he's looking like Max Verstappen out here.
Yeah, I mean, a very, very tough track, a very tough one to come to right after Texas, which is a pretty easy cookie cutter. And to come here at North Wilkesboro and pretty much dominate the race. But I'm telling you, Brett Stevens, Brian Zabelski, Dennis Crosby, I think they got something to say. If Doug Betts gets up there, I think he does too.
I think he might, as into the restart zone will go Cologne. And Steffens will lead him back to the green flag. The 87 back on the gas. 85 of Shabelski doesn't get going. The inside line, spinning the tires. And here comes Brett Steffens trying to make a charge for the lead. Cologne under pressures. Oh, we got trouble at turn 1. Scott Kennedy around again.
I wonder how they're going to score that. I don't know what they're going to score because the caution came out and the 86 was very, very close. I think Miguel will have it, but man, it sure was close. And we'll go ahead and check this replay out with Scott Kennedy and see exactly what happened. It looks like he may have just checked up a little bit too hard, got on the brakes, and goes around. We'll see from his point of view here on the V-Speed replay.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh.
Looks like he might have gotten a little bit help, but
you got a little help. Was that from the 24 Perez?
I don't know. We'll go check it. Didn't look like they got into him, but he may have. So yeah, I think you're right. I think Perez may have gotten into the back of him. We'll get that replay queued up just a second. Yeah, and he's a little bit closer than I thought he was.
I mean, he's on him here going into turn 1. Oh,
yeah,
that was a decent shot.
Well,
and it has not been a good few laps for Scott Kennedy.
It looked like maybe Perez thought he was going to get out to the outside, like the very outside line, because that seems like the way he was pointing that truck. And unfortunately, you know, it just didn't time it right. And unfortunately, caught that right rear, bumper of Scott Kennedy. And so Scott just struggling. Ever since you mentioned him on the broadcast, Alec, it's just been downhill. So I blame you.
Interesting. Race control not too happy listening with David Anderson. He said that if somebody self-spins and gets 2 cautions, you're going to be parked. So,
well, it's a tough thing, Alec. When you're trying to run race control and you having a race broadcasted, and I can tell you from experience, whenever you get out here and guys are just constantly wrecking cautions and you're just running under caution, you know, as a leader of the, you know, you kind of feel responsibility, even though it's not your fault. We haven't seen David Anderson wreck anybody or cause any cautions tonight, but you know, it's his, you know, he's the leader of the series. He's race control and he runs this thing. And so he has a sense of responsibility. And, you know, when it just keeps happening over and over again, we can't get green flag racing. The frustration will come out in the admin as they're like, guys, just take it easy for 10 laps and then get going. Yeah. And we see guys just driving really deep into the corner, just over driving the entry, and you know it just just need to calm down a little bit. We're not even halfway.
More than halfway.
Yeah,
we got more than halfway to go. Just take it easy. I know you see on short tracks, Martinsville in particular. I mean, we see a lot of incidents there on iRacing, whether it's in iRacing or even in general in real life. You know, these short tracks, they're so close on the restarts, and just one mistake by one guy in the middle of the pack, you get hit, and you go around in front of guys, or you just get spun around and the caution comes out. And obviously don't want to see too many cautions. We want to see green flag racing, other than maybe one guy in this field, and that's Miguel Colon, who's literally led every single lap, trying to do the Max Verstappen, as they say, and just leading every single lap of this race. Is into the restart zone. They'll go. Green flag is back out, and we're back underway here for North Wilkesboro. Cologne gets away from Steffens, then Crosby, Shabelski, and Smith. The top 5 is everybody single file in through 1 and 2. Everybody keeps it clean and green down the back stretch, and Cologne holds on.
Yeah, another great start. I mean, it's really easy when you're out front. You control the restart. We'll see. I mean, I still feel like Brett Stevens, Dennis Crosby, these guys have some speed and definitely have the talent to get up there. And I think they're just biding their time. I don't think we've realized who is going to win this race just yet. And I know Miguel Colon has been out front most of the race, but I got to say, I think there are folks that are in this top 10 that have an opportunity to win if they can just execute. So if I'm Miguel, I even though I've led pretty much every lap, I cannot rest on that, and I can't take it easy because he is every single restart more and more pressure. As you see right now, here comes Brett Stevens. He is less than 3/10 behind that 87 machine. So the 86, 87 about to go at it here.
Oh, Kyle Smith loose around the corner. He'll save it. What a save for the 55. Goodness. Really loose into the corner. We'll get a replay for that in just a second. But, man, what a save from the 55. He was almost around. That was amazing. I thought that truck was going around.
Yeah, we'll check it out here in the picture-in-picture. Just almost a 3-wide situation with Doug Betts on the inside there. And then,
my goodness.
Yeah, that's a 2-foot smash if I've ever seen it, ever. In iRacing, there's a funny thing you can do in these oval vehicles. Whenever you get a little bit loose, you're about to go around, you smash the brake, smash the throttle all the way down, and it'll actually straighten the truck out. And that's exactly what Kyle Smith did, and what an amazing job and reaction time to be able to do that right there and not cause an accident, everybody able to avoid him.
Yeah.
So just fantastic job by him.
Great save from Kyle Smith. Unfortunately, those tires are not going to like that, and that
Definitely
might hurt him
not.
for the rest of this run. As Kevin Ayers was able to get by the 55 of Smith. Miguel Colon opening up that gap to about a half second. Unfortunately, I believe they lapped Anthony James. Unfortunately, he's 4 laps down, so I'm not sure what happened to him. I think he might have had to bring it in. So 4 laps down in 18th. Going to be slowly, surely trying to work his way around these leaders as Smith trying to pressure Ayers into a mistake here, trying to get back that 5th position that he lost from that half spin. But what a save we saw from the 55. Up ahead, though, Dennis Crosby under fire from Brian Shabelski. Shabelski in the 85 he just seems, as they get more laps on the tires and as the run continues to go on, that 85 truck gets better and better. And that outside lane is Crosby. Early in this run, looked like he made some contact with the right rear, a little bit of scuffs on the right rear quarter panel, but Shabelski on the inside carrying the momentum but that outside just carries momentum for Crosby. But Shabelski right even with them into the corner, and Crosby forcing him low, forcing over that little bit of banking on the bottom, and it's upsetting the handling of that 85.
Yeah, and then 85 just has to be patient. He's shown a lot of so far in this race. He might do a little slider here, and he does.
Cross.
Crosby's going to try the little crossover, but I think Brian is just a little bit too strong. He actually drives deep into the corner knowing that there might have been a bump coming. And so now Brian Zabelski is up into the top 3. He is moving.
Oh, Kyle Smith loose again on the bottom, slides up.
He
barely
saves
makes
it.
Contact with Ayers. He saved it again. This guy is wheeling and dealing, and here comes Doug Betts in the 3 truck to take advantage, as I believe Jay Dargert has brought it down to pit lane in the 57. Not sure what's going on there. Oh, I think he got the inside wall. There is no fender on the 57 truck, but man, Kyle Smith is wheeling that truck around just loose all over the racetrack. As Perez making contact. Perez, one of those drivers on fresh tires, trying to get his lap back.
Yeah, just a scenario where Kyle Smith has got that brake bias dialed down really, really low, trying to help that truck turn into the corner. And you see it on the picture-in-picture, just getting loose in the corner. When you see that back end step out, that's brake bias right there. So he is trying to be aggressive on that brake bias to get that truck turned into the corner so he can get a good drive off, get a little bit better speed on entry. But he's already slid the tires once and now twice. He's just going to have to chill out for a little bit, I think. I think he's got plenty of speed to win this race. I think he's just got to calm down. He's only at 4.5 seconds back. We've had plenty of cautions, a little bit of patience, and I think Kyle's going to be okay. But right now his tires are screaming at him.
Yeah, those tires not going to be happy with the driver of the 55, Kyle Smith, who slid him around quite a bit here so far as this battle for the lead. Miguel Colon, Brett Steffens starting to heat up. Has some contact there with the 57 of Dargert and the 58 of Ayers. As Ayers, even though Smith has almost spun that truck around twice, he's still been able to keep Ayers on his toes. But right now, Steffens all over the 87 of Cologne, but trading lap times right here. But it just seems like Steffens has a little more center speed. And look at that back end of the 87. I think he's starting to feel the pressure. That back end starting to slide around a little bit more, little by little.
Yeah, and Miguel has just done a great job of really not making any mistakes. I mean, 85 laps on this set of tires, and they're still, driving really competitive lap times. It has fallen off, about 8 tenths overall, which is not that much fall off. So tires not going to be a huge deal tonight. But Miguel is just doing a great job. At these short tracks, there's one thing you can do out front is just not make mistakes. Brent can be as fast, be a little bit faster, which he has been. But the thing is, he's got to pass it, and it's so difficult to get off the corner and get position on a guy. You really have to set him up for 2 or 3 laps to be able to get that run down on the inside. And so we're seeing the difficulty as Brett really doesn't have any options unless Miguel slips and makes a mistake.
And we talk about the trucks a little more, a little bit bigger, and a little bit slower, a little bit less horsepower as well. So it takes a little bit more to get off the corner. We talk about, clean versus dirty air. These trucks known to be the worst, I guess, other than the next-gen cars on short tracks when it comes to aerodynamic disadvantage. The trucks definitely out there. We know the Xfinity car doesn't really suffer from any of those problems. The Cup car nowadays, with the shifting and everything, is also could play a role in how the car is affected in traffic. The trucks tend to struggle a little bit. Now, I wonder, is Brett Steffens struggling a little bit in that dirty air, riding right behind Miguel Colon?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, dirty air, not really an issue at a track. They're not running that fast, just barely over 115 miles an hour on the straightaway. So aero not going to be a huge issue. It's just a matter of they're running such close lap times that you see as you watch these guys go through the corner, they're having to use all of the track. They're on the high side, they're diving down to the bottom, they're exiting off the corner all the way to the wall. But when you get side by side with somebody, you're not able to use the whole track, and so all of a sudden the handling characteristics of the truck changes. And so Brett definitely seems like he's faster, but he's got to make his move. It's a chess game. You have to make the move when it's time. You've got to set up for checkmate. And, 91 of 150 is not the time to be aggressive. You've got 2.5 seconds back to Brian Zabelski. There's just no pressure for Brett to make the move right now. Just keep him in your sights. Keep that lock on. Keep the hand over the missile, and be ready when the time is right.
Yeah, and it seems like the time is right at the moment. He just has a little bit more turn and more rear tire than the 87 does. He'll go a little bit higher, try to dive in the corner a little bit more, but just can't do anything as David Anderson got by Doug Betts for 7th. And so far, this field getting a little more spread out, but Cologne just doesn't have that center rotation, and it's allowing Brett Steffens to get closer and closer. We know it's early, but we talk about the bump and run on short tracks. Is Steffens willing to do it now? And no, we're still going to have about another 65 laps to go here, 66 as the lap clicks off. Are these guys going to be willing to push it another 66 laps on these tires? But right now, Steffens with a little more pace than the 87 of Cologne.
Yeah, you saw him peek out to the outside in the corner. He's not trying to go to the outside. He's trying to set up for a good exit. And they've got some lap trucks in front of them side by side, so this could change the. But you see, you want to try to. Yeah, he's trying to go to the outside and get the run off the corner. You see how much he closes there on exit. And Miguel makes a mistake.
He gets loose. There's the mistake out of Cologne. Now here comes Steffens to the outside, but side by side between the lappers of Maynard and Campbell. Miguel Cologne holds on. He'll lead another lap, but now lappers right in front of the 87. Where do they go? Can Stevens use them as a pick?
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Yeah, it is. 62 going to stay up out of the way, but that's going to cause the 86 to have to check up just a little bit. Yeah, and that was all that Miguel needed. Yeah.
Here comes the crossover. No, he'll back out. Cologne holds on to the lead, leads more laps here as he's led 96 laps of 97 as they just got it. But Maynard's going to unfortunately hold up the 87's exit speed. Now this allows Steffens to get closer and closer. Cologne doesn't hit the line right, but able to get a good enough exit. Steffens closes in. And while this battle's been happening, how about Brian Schabelski in the 85? He's closed up about a second.
Yeah, I mean, he has taken advantage of these guys battling, but also having to deal with lap traffic. He's got an easier time, and he has been really catching these guys quickly, almost 3/10 faster, as we've got still trying to battle for the lead is Brett Stevens. And, man, it is – I mean, I don't know what David Anderson said to these guys, but, man, I'm glad he said it because this has been fantastic the last 20 or 30 laps. Has just been amazing. These guys on old tires, they're sliding around. Tires are hot, and we've seen Kyle Smith's about spin out twice. He's still running 5th, and just amazing racing here once we can stay green.
Yeah, well, that battle for the lead was happening. Smith was able to get by Kevin Ayers in the 58. The 55 has moved up inside the top 5. Right where he was last week, and this, I'll tell you what, this battle for the lead. You look at the lap times. I mean, Schabelski's caught up, but he's now kind of falling back. But I'm looking at this 87. This truck is just sliding off the corners where it seems like Steffens just has some more rear drive. He's able to get back into the gas sooner, but not spin the tires off the corner. And you're starting to see it here. Cologne slides off the corner, and then Steffens closes in. He's being patient, but there's 50 laps to go. That's still a little bit to go. If a caution comes out, you're going to see these guys pit. If a caution doesn't come out, are they going to go 50 laps? Here comes Steffens.
He thought about it.
Goes to the outside, won't be able to do anything. Cologne holds on to the lead here, but the 87 gets loose. This allows the 86 with a run. He'll back off. He'll try to get the diamond here. The 87 is going to go defensive line, but look at the 86 to the outside. Just doesn't have the grip.
Yeah, I would much rather be the horse than the carrot, and right now Miguel is the carrot. He's doing all that he can to watch that mirror. He's mirror driving. Oh, and Brett Stevens going to get sideways off the corner.
What a save! What a save from Steffens, but how much is that going to hurt his tires? Now here comes Shabelski in the 85, closing up that in this battle. This Chevy Silverado has been getting better and better on the long run.
Oh, I love this. I love these guys racing this hard on these older tires, and you can see just why tire wear is just such an important thing. And these guys on 105 lap tires, and they are driving the wheels off of it still. And Brett Stevens had just waiting on a mistake from Miguel Colon, and then just makes one himself, trying to get that power down and just couldn't get it done. But he's starting to run him back down here. He was 0.3 faster than Miguel the last lap.
Oh, he missed the corner badly there, unless that's the line he's starting to run, but that looked like he just mixed his apex. And now Steffens mounting another charge, but now he's bringing Brian Shabelski with him. This might be a 3-horse pony show with the dog races here for the lead as Miguel Colon holds on, but man, those lap times falling off. Colon, 20.16. Steffens, a 20 flat, and as well as Shabelski, a 20 flat as well. These two trucks, second and third, are just faster, but now Colon's exit's going to be held up by Ricky Wall at 225. Now, what will this do? This run 43 laps to go here. Will they be able to try to push these tires to their limit?
Yeah, I mean, these guys, we saw there in the picture-in-picture, Brett Stevens just trying to get a run off the bottom of the corner, and you can see the rear tires just not allowing for that. So, Brett now is in a tough spot. I said he had, 2.4 seconds back to Brian Zabelski earlier, and he could really be patient and take his time. But now Brian is right on his back bumper. He does not have that. So when he goes to make his move, he's got to make the right one, or he might find himself battling from the lead going back to third.
Yeah, he's got to be careful now. He was on defensive mode. Now he's got to be on he's on offensive mode. Now he's got to be defensive and offensive at the same time. And I'll tell you what, his best bets here is when Colon gets into lap traffic. As you can see, he's going to be lapping the 13 of Albino. But right now, look at this. It's going to hurt his exit speed. He can't run the line he wants. This should allow Steffens to get a little bit closer as Colon. And we talk about these lap trucks. They don't want to lose their lap because they know there's no lucky dog.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, they want to fight, but so far everybody's been really, honestly, has been
courteous.
Been super nice and hasn't fought that hard. Now, a question I do have that's going to start to come up here soon, as we're on lap 111 or 150, Alec, is fuel. Now, we don't know what the fuel run is. I mean, these guys know, but we didn't get any kind of information before the race, and you have to see it all played out. But these guys, the top 10 have been out for over 112 laps. Can they make it on fuel? At these short tracks, they usually can go pretty far on fuel, but can they make it?
Yeah.
Now, if they can't, let's say they have to make a stop for fuel, then Scott Kennedy in that 11th position, he pitted on lap 46. So if we have to make a pit stop and we stay green, we might see Scott
trouble.
Kennedy.
Dennis Crosby is around. I don't know if he's got a problem. Slowed down a lot, lost a couple positions, but he's down to 8th now. I'm not sure what really happened there. He's lost a few positions. Like you said, can they make this race on fuel the entirety of this race? Is it possible? Because they're going to have to go this entire distance of the race in fuel. We've had a lot of caution laps, so it is possible. Did they save enough fuel? But are the tires going to be able to withstand these, this much pressure as we get to see what happened with Dennis Crosby here? He got down to the air. Ooh, really loose there. Oh, wow. How was that not a caution?
I mean, he did
I don't know.
Yeah, you know why they call it an Xbox 360? You do a 360 and you walk away, man. That's exactly what Dennis Crosby did. Amazing job. Got a little help from Alex Maynard. Yeah, it just keeps going. So impressive
good
stuff.
save there. But this battle for the lead is heating up. Shabelski. Oh man, he gets really loose off turn number 4.
Oh, I love this.
Steffens to close in.
I love it. I love it. There's nothing that brings a smile to my face than seeing these guys have to fight these trucks and race their guts out. Yeah, I mean, this is why oval racing. See these guys. I think a lot of these guys consider themselves road racers now. I'm not sure who.
Off of turn number 2. Dennis Crosby is spun, and we talk about the tire wear. Well, I think you're going to bring it in now. Man, that pace truck was flying there, but Crosby was struggling with the handling of that Ford F-150, and unfortunately, he has gone around. I'm not sure if he lost his lap, But man, what a great long run there. But Miguel Colon able to hold on to the position.
Yeah, as we check out
And
the
now bring it
replay.
to pit road.
Yeah, check out the replay. Dennis Crosby just gets, I mean, he already spun out, so the tires are super loose.
A development. Miguel Colon was not able to pit. He didn't pit, and look at everybody else. Stefan, Shabowski, Smith, Parker, they all brought it in.
Yeah, that's I mean, Miguel's going to have to come in. There's no way he can stay out. The tire difference is going to be, I mean, like I said, tire's not a huge deal, but he's not going to be able to keep up the pace
but he's going to lose his track position, I think is the problem.
He's going to have to give up the track position. There's no doubt. He's got a fast enough truck. I don't think he can stay out. If he stays out, he's going to the back. There's no doubt about that. So
yeah, I don't think there's going to be a chance if he's able to stay out, but Colon's going to lose the track position.
He comes in
the
pit
pits
lane now.
opened before he got to the pace truck, but then the pits open.
Yeah. Yeah, just.
Well, I'm not sure if the pits open or if they prematurely entered the pits before they were open. And if they did, obviously Colon's gonna be able to keep the lead. But we talk about guys, Cameron Perez, Dennis Crosby, you know he's in that last caution, taking the wave around. They're gonna get back on the lead lap here, and a big strategy for Perez.
Yeah, well that's a pretty big blunder.
Yeah.
I think he just missed the opening of pit road. Just a small mistake there. Yeah, he's going to lose a lot.
He's going to lose that track position. And we talk about, changing a track position. How about Brian Shabelski?
Yeah.
Winning the race off of pit road. He got the track position.
Yeah, he only took 2 tires there, Alec.
Oh, that's going to be interesting to see. Track position, though. But how about Michael Parker? He stayed out.
Yeah. Interesting calls. Yeah, just super interesting calls here late in the race. I mean, we've already put 121 laps on some tires. Zabelski, I hate to, because we don't know how the race is going to end, but I'm just not sure 2 tires is the right call. It's going to really, while the right sides are really good on entry and all on exit, the difference is those left sides are really good in the middle of the corner, and unfortunately for Zabelski, he's just not going to be able to roll the center like the guys on 4 tires.
I'll tell you who might be in the catbird seat here. How about Kyle Smith in the 55? Yeah. Lap 1 incident, almost spun twice in that last run, up to 4th, and Miguel Colon unfortunately going to get the short end of the stick, and we know he's going to be on a charge to get to the front of this pack here as the pace truck will pull off into the Geico restart zone. We go. Michael Parker, your leader, green flag is out, back underway, tires spin. How about Kyle Smith, 3 wide? Thought about it for a second, goes away, but here comes Colon in the 87.
Yeah, it looks like Colon was given some positions back because of that, and now he finds himself outside of the second row. That top side going to be really strong here early as Kyle Smith's going to get a nice run. The 23 on those old tires, just a roadblock. The parachute just goes, and he is gone. As now the anchor is out and he is going to the back, but now we're about to see the race. This is the race realized. Yep. Zabelski has been pretty fantastic all race, but here comes Kyle Smith, Miguel Colon, who's been the class of the field, and gets that lucky break, able to get some of those positions back, and now he sits in 3rd, and he's knocking on the door of Kyle Smith.
See Colon, he's led about every single lap here tonight. Shabelski, 2 tires that last pit stop. I think that handling starting to take effect. Smith to the outside, but here comes Colon to get to the inside. Smith rolls the top. Smith gets the run, and now he's there to the corner panel. Side by side, now 2 rows in. Here comes Brett Steffens as well. Shabelski on the inside, gets to drive off, can't do it. Smith now pulls even to his door.
What an amazing move by Kyle Smith. I mean, big brain move. He's got to make the pass, though. He knows that Brian is on those 2 tires, and right now he is causing Miguel to have nowhere to go. And so if he can – they get real close. 85's going to get loose. He goes around.
Shabelski spins, no caution, but those 2 tires affecting the handling, and Shabelski will lose track position.
Unbelievable.
That allows Kyle Smith to get to the lead, but here comes Colon and Steffens, and how about the 58? Kevin Ayers is in the picture.
Oh, Miguel is all over the back bumper of the 55. How hard are they going to race? Kyle going to take a wide entry, and unfortunately, Miguel going to be able to take the inside track, and I think that's bad news for the rest of the field.
It could be that short run truck seems to kick in so good for the 87. Won the pole, has led over 120 laps, but this isn't going to go down without a fight. Kyle Smith, last week's winner, fighting hard on the outside, carrying momentum, but Cologne gets back to the lead. 87 back up to the point. Can Smith do anything about it? No. Steffens in third. He'll tuck back in line. Ayers in fourth. David Anderson up into fifth. How about Mike Tyler? We haven't talked about him all night. He's up in sixth.
Yeah. Unbelievable. This has been amazing. A little tear comes out of my eye to see Miguel Colon get out front because I know how fast he is here early, led majority of the race. But what is Brett Steven, Kevin Ayers? These guys get up here and battle, and we might even see the boss man, Kevin Anderson, might get up here and get up there and maybe try to get on a podium or something. He's got a lot of work to do. But hey, he looks focused. What do you say, Alec?
Yeah, look, I think that's focused. David Anderson is focused. That is laser eye focus. He sees those four trucks ahead of him. He knows, hey, those are the drivers to beat to win.
Yeah, look at him. He's hollering. He's like, man, if they get into each other, I'm gonna get up there and get this win. And that's what he's really focused on, trying to get those lap times, stay with them, and if a mistake happens, he can be there to capitalize.
He could be. We talk about the pace. Miguel Colon restarted in seventh, up to first in about 3 laps. That truck on rails, like we said. I mean, we talked about him having the Max Verstappen speed. Man, he's looked like him tonight, just dominating this race. Kyle Smith mounted a charge, just wasn't enough right now as Smith holds on to second. Brett Steffens up in third, Ayers in fourth, Anderson in fifth. We talk about this. This is going to be 35 laps on the tires. It's not going to be even close to what they had the last run. But is Cologne saving tires? Is Smith saving tires? Or is Steffens saving tires? We saw Steffens had better tires at the end of the run than Cologne did. Right now, is this going to be a factor? We talk about the lap trucks. You know, will Cologne run into lap traffic as this race goes on? Almost a little contact back in the pack between Anthony James and I believe Mike Tyler. Those guys battling hard, but Steffens, I think he wants to get by Smith. He's got him out of charge because I think he knows he's faster on the long run than Cologne was. Yeah,
he's got to do it now. He's got 15 laps to go, but he's going to need every bit of these laps to get around Cologne. And
there it is. Caution. Trouble in the front stretch right in front of us, I believe. Is that's the 13 of Gabriel Albano around on the front stretch in the Hooters F-150. And you know who that just saved was Dennis Crosby. He was about to go a lap down on 136 lap old tires. Now he'll be able to come and pit for fresh tires. So we'll see what happens here. Although that was a long run or a decent sized run. Is anybody going to be willing to pit?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think with the tire wear, I just can't imagine coming down pit road at this point. I think.
Well, does it maybe a Mike Tyler or a Brian Shabelsky? I think maybe Shabelsky. I think if you're him, I think yes, you are. You're going to bring it down to pit lane as we'll see what happened to Gabriel Albano. Loose off of turn number 4. Ooh, contact the inside wall, and the caution comes out. And 18 laps on the tires. Shabelsky's brought it in. I think you're going to see him take 4. Will those tires matter? We saw he was able to keep the lead for a few laps. Is it going to be enough? How much will it matter? He'll start anywhere from the 8th to 9th position. I don't know. Michael Parker also stayed out. I'm surprised that he's staying out on those old tires. I think you want to bring it in for some fresh Goodyear Racing Eagles.
Yeah, I just don't think that at this point with just this only 19 laps. I mean, we've seen them go so far, and the tire fall off is just not there. I think you got to stay. I think you got to stay out. I think track position is going to be too important. You're just not going to have enough time. And unfortunately for the field, I mean, Miguel Colon has been the best. I mean, the first 60 laps, nobody could touch him. As the run went on, he started to fall off a little bit. But I just don't know. I mean, with only 10 laps to go, I don't know who can do anything. I mean, on a restart here, somebody's going to have to try to make a move here. But it's going to be tough. That 87 fast early on.
I think the question is, are you going to get physical? Are you going to be willing to move somebody out of the way? Is Kyle Smith going to be willing to maybe move the 87 out of the way? Is that going to be possible once we get to the end of this thing? And talk about 2 great races so far this year. I mean, great shows that have been put on by the Champion Motorsports Truck Series. These guys have been just on it. We've seen so far, it looks like Kyle Smith might be the championship favorite at the moment because he's been running up front all season. I mean, it's 2 races. But we have so many different tracks on the schedule. Next week, speaking of next week, next Friday night on July 20. Actually, I think we have a week off, unfortunately. Actually, 2 weeks off, do we not?
I'm not sure.
I believe our next race, yeah, July 28th. July 28th is our next race. So, yeah, we got 2 weeks in a row of racing here, and then unfortunately we'll have 2 weeks off, and then we'll come back on July 28th, Friday night, for the Worldwide Technology Gateway 200. So that's going to be an interesting race. Much different track than here or Texas. You'll be seeing downshifting in 1 and 2, and then upshifting down the backstretch as Miguel Colon looking to get win. Yes, sir. Pace truck is going to pull off into pit lane. We'll have 9 laps to go to settle it in race 2 at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Miguel Colon on the front row with Kyle Smith to his outside. Into the Geico restart zone they will go. Colon gets away, but is it going to be good enough? Yes, it is. He'll clear the 55.
Oh, he spins
the tires.
He spins the tires. Oh, no. 86.
Seemingly one of the only mistakes he's made all night might cost him the lead. Side by side with Kyle Smith. Here comes Kevin Ayers in the 58 as well. 3 wide behind. How about Cameron Perez?
Oh, my goodness, they're racing so hard right here. Kyle Smith trying to get the run he can off the corner.
Cameron Perez is on fresh tires. He took tires. He's up to 6th.
Oh, my goodness. Cameron Perez, who we haven't talked about all race long, is making moves here.
Shabelski
You're
is
right.
on move as well.
Oh, he gets sideways.
Perez is loose. Doors is aimed the 58. Here comes side by side.
Oh, he's going to make contact.
58 again. They crash behind. A big wreck between, I believe, Alex Maynard into the inside wall again.
Oh, my goodness. I'm unbelievable to see Perez with those 4 tires make up that much ground on that restart. Unbelievable.
We haven't talked about him all day. He went a lap down early in this race, played a strategy. The caution before the last, got back on the lead lap, took tires, and now he's into the top 5.
I tell you what, hey, Alec, let's go on board with him and let's watch as he navigates through that restart and just see what it's like on new tires. I mean, he was sitting in the 9th position on that restart. Let's go back and check that out. That was incredible. I mean, he could smell blood. He was like a shark out there.
I mean, he was absolutely hauling the mail. I mean, look where he started. He restarted about 11th there. I mean, if you look at how many cars there were.
And just get a nice restart there. Able to get to the inside. Might be a penalty. I'm not sure.
I don't think he got one though. So I mean, look at it. We'll talk about. I mean, what was that? 3 laps of green flag racing, and Colon was able to barely hold off Smith. But I mean, look at the grip he has into the corners.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you're right.
Is there going to be enough laps for them to make moves? We talk about this league. No green white checkered. So if the caution comes out, the race will be over.
Yeah, I mean, just look how much speed he has.
Look at that.
I'd have no problem saying I was wrong, as 20-lap tires seem to be pretty dang good, as he's able to do whatever the heck he wants to. And look right there. I mean, he's driving so hard, knowing how much of advantage.
So loose on the bottom.
Oh
look at that.
God.
Slides up into the 58. And I don't think Kevin Ayers was too happy with that move. He said next time that's not going to work. And now, is there going to be enough laps for these tires to matter? I think we're going to get maybe a 2 or a 1 lap shootout.
Well, I mean, the way that Perez was driving there, I don't know if it matters if somebody's in front of him or not. I think.
I mean, he's not afraid to throw it around, so will he be able to use that bumper? We'll see as the caution lights still on. So this means a 1 lap shootout.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, just unbelievable. I mean, there's no way we get around without somebody headed the wrong direction. Yeah, somebody's going around. I don't know who it's going to be.
And I don't know. I don't think you can Ross Chastain it around here, and I don't think that's going to be probably looked upon by the admins too well as well. So actually, we'll see if the pace truck lights do not come off. This race will be official, and Miguel Colon will be the winner of this race. But by the looks of it, I think this is going to be a 1 lap shootout. This is the way that they're lining up. So they're getting ready for the restart. And what is Kyle Smith willing to do? What is Brett Steffens, Kevin Ayers, even Cameron Perez, Cameron Perez, Brian Shabelski. They're going to line up 2 by 2. It'll be Indy 500 1 lap shootout style.
Oh my goodness. This is going to be crazy.
So here we go into the restart zone. Miguel Colon, your leader. Kyle Smith to his outside. We're going to take it from here. 1 lap to go in race 2 at North Wilkesboro. Pace truck into pit road, into the restart zone. 1 lap to go. Perez spins the tires. Colon spins the tires.
He spun the
Here
tires.
comes Brett Steffens to the inside. Perez 3 wide through the middle. Smith gets the run.
Contact
through the lead into turn number 3. Here comes Ayers. Smith, Perez make contact between Ayers.
Can he
Ayers
hold
goes
it?
around side by side for the win. Miguel Colon holds on to
Oh,
it, and
my
Colon wins
goodness.
at Wilkesboro.
Unbelievable. Holy moly. What an
And
incredible
Ayers
finish.
What a finish. Kevin Ayers goes around Cameron Perez into the sidearm, spun him out. What a race
Hey.
here from North Wilkesboro. And Miguel Colon, the dominant truck of the day. How about it?
I mean, that is what you want out of your racing, and that's why NASCAR is just so popular. Is because of that right there, and what an impressive job by Miguel Colon. I mean, just an amazing
was
race.
awesome.
And I mean, he was done for. He spun his tires on that restart. We'll actually go on board with Brett Stevens here and watch this restart as Miguel Colon trying to hold off, and Kyle Smith did a fantastic job.
Yeah, I mean, and look at that. Colon cut the exit off so he couldn't get to his door. What a race here from North Wilkesboro.
We'll actually give you the restart instead of my bad.
let's
Sorry
do a
about that.
restart,
So we'll watch
Yeah,
from
you're
Brett
good.
Stevens, as Miguel Colon burning them down, doing a Polish victory
Steffens
lap.
got such a good run off the corner.
Let's see that snap-on truck spin his tires once we get going.
Oh, and troubled. Cameron Perez was disqualified.
We'll go ahead and just
Or was penalized, I should say, for the last lap actions of, I think, getting into the 58 of Kevin
right
Ayers.
here.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the run he got. I think he got a.
Yeah, just a little bobble.
Just seemed like he
Brett
struggled
Stevens.
there.
Yeah, just a little bit too
smart
nice.
back out because he knew that. I think he knew that there was going to be contact right there. Contact off of 2 between Colon and Smith, and it looked like Smith. I thought had him.
You see
And then
Perez.
you can see Perez spins the 58 and into Crosby, and oh my goodness, what a hit for, I believe that was Mike Tyler. But man, what a race.
I mean, wow. I can't tell you how impressive that is.
Miguel Colon.
Yeah, I mean, just an unbelievable drive by him, and just an amazing last lap pass.
Yeah, Brad Shabelski was even able to get up to 5th with those tires. So, man, what a great race here from North Wilkesboro. 2 great races in a row, and I believe we're going to be waiting for Brett Steffens here to come in. But, man, those last few restarts, that long run at the end of it, I mean, that was everything you want out of the truck series. The trucks here at North Wilkesboro, sliding around, sliding around, hard racing, a little bit of contact. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. That's just awesome racing from here at North Wilkesboro. Man, it doesn't get any better than that.
No.
Honestly, 10 cautions, 6 lead changes. I mean, what more could you ask for short tracks in the trucks?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed pretty normal to me for short track racing, and another great race. I mean, I know some people might be a little upset about the way that maybe it ended. I don't know. And always at short track, somebody's going to have their feelings hurt. But tonight it was all Miguel Colon who's going to take home the top spot. Kyle Smith, winner from last week, tried his hardest on the outside. Very respectful racing. Comes home in second. And Brett Stevens, I mean, had the opportunity, but just didn't want to cause a wreck. I mean, I got a huge amount of respect for Brett Stevens after that. I mean, he could have just bowling pinned him out of the way and took that win, but he wanted to do it the right way, and he'll come home third. Cameron Perez, showing in 4th position, was disqualified, so I don't really know how that will work, but Brian Zabelski able to recover after that spin and get a top 5 finish. That's how you win championships if you're Zabelski, is make those kind of recoveries. David Anderson in the 6th position, had a great run. Comes home in that 6th. Michael Parker, somebody we really didn't talk about all night, just quietly in that top 10, up 3 spots from where he started. Dennis Crosby in 8th, Kevin Ayers in 9th, and Mike Tyler in 10th.
Yeah, what a great race we saw here. And we'll go from 11th. 11th was Doug Betts, unfortunately, one lap down. Ricky Wall was in 12th. Rodney Campbell was 13th. Gabriel Albino was 14th. Alex Maynard was 15th. Anthony James, 16th. 17th was Scott Kennedy. Jay Dargert was 18th. Stephen Knight, an unfortunate night for him, will come home in 19th. And Chris Hudson will round out the field. As I'm looking here, I don't unfortunately see Brett in here, but when he gets in here to join, we'll pull him in. But I think for right now, I'll pull in Kyle Smith, who got second, and then Eddie will get Brett when he comes in here into Discord. So let me get Kyle Smith, your second place finisher for right now. Kyle Smith, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, buddy, you put together two great runs. You got wrecked on lap one, got the damage fixed. You go on a long green flag run. You almost spin twice. You save it, had two great saves. And then on the final restart, you pull right next to Miguel Colon and have great side-by-side action, great side-by-side racing. You come home second, adding to your points lead. How was that?
I'm spent. I'm speechless. Honestly, like that was so much fun. So much fun. Absolutely crazy race.
That was. Do you think it was a little more eventful than Texas?
A little bit, yes.
I mean, it was a great show to watch from up here in the booth, and I know we have a few little bit of off weeks, but next time we go to Gateway. How do you feel about going to Gateway? Tight track, you're going to be shifting. How does that make you feel?
I'll be honest, I have never ran. I maybe ran the trucks at Gateway once, so I don't have much experience there at all.
I mean, yeah, it's a tough, tight track. Well, we're gonna wish you. Obviously, it was a great race, and I know we had 2 weeks off. Unfortunately, because I'm really wishing you guys would go back next week, because this has just been an awesome 2 weeks watching you guys race each other. And now I'm gonna ask you. Now next week, or sorry, obviously go to Gateway, but for this run, you come on P2. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to and thank?
I just want to thank everyone in this league. I want to thank, again, Reflex, Turn 3 Motorsports, Esports, sorry. And just everyone watching. Thank you for showing up and watching. Thanks my wife, everyone else. Yeah, I loved it. My heart is pounding out of my chest right now.
we loved it, brother. Well, again, congratulations on the second place finish, Kyle, and hopefully we'll see you next week or in about 2 weeks for Gateway.
Yep, I plan on being there.
All right, awesome, man. Well, thank you very much. As there's Kyle Smith, as Brett Stephens has joined Discord. So, Eddie, do you want to maybe get Brett here?
Yeah, we'll get Brett up into the broadcast booth. Brett, this is Eddie in the booth, and Alec, do you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Brett, about halfway through the race, the short run, Miguel had you covered. It seemed like you just really kind of maintaining there for a while. But then as the tires started to wear out, you came alive, man. It just seemed like the long run, you were just making a buku's amount of time. You got up to the back bumper of Miguel and just patiently waiting, got a little bit loose one time, trying to get down the inside as the tires started to wear out. And so, I mean, just a fantastic race. Congratulations on third place. But, man, talk about your race. Talk about that first run and what your plan was and what you were trying to execute there as we got a little bit once we got the green flag racing and you got to the back bumper of that 87.
Yeah, it was really fun once we got going there. We had a lot of cautions at the beginning, but once we kind of finally got that green run going, the car was, feeling pretty good. Felt that I didn't quite have enough for Miguel, but I think, as the tires were wearing out, we were kind of sliding around and I was able to close in a little bit. Had that issue. I think it was coming off I can't remember what, 2 or 4, but yeah, lost a little bit of ground there, but then I was able to run him back down a little bit and, just could get to him, but I just didn't feel like I had enough to get by him. We got that caution there after that run and came in and got tires. And felt like I had a pretty good shot. I think he missed the pits the first time by. But then Michael had stayed out and not taken tires and kind of got stuck at the bottom a little bit. And a couple guys got by, but really happy to just keep it clean and then get back up there for a P3 finish.
Well, talk about that last restart. I mean, you had a chance there. Miguel kind of spun the tires as he was getting up through the gears. You looked down to the inside, and then you backed out. Talk about the reason why you chose to back out there when you had a chance for the win.
Oh, I didn't want to dump him there. We were pretty tight there. I was kind of it was looking like I was going to be down on the apron, and I just didn't want to dump everybody out there going into one. So kind of backed off a little bit and got back in line and just wanted to keep it clean.
Well, I always say respect is like credits and debits, man. And, I think that move right there probably earned you some credits with the field, and I'm sure somebody will repay that down the line. So just like I said, I told Alec I had a lot of respect for you there as you backed out, knowing you had a chance for a win, but knew that it wasn't going to end pretty. So a lot of respect from my end for you for that. But a third place finish is really impressive. I think you were one of the fastest trucks out there. Just needed a long run maybe, especially towards the end. I think you would have had something for him. But third place, pretty dang good. And it seemed like it was a lot of fun out there. As always, Brett, who you got to thank? Any sponsor shout-outs?
No, just thanks to CMS. I've been racing here for a few years now. I really enjoyed this league and happy to see that we're doing some mobile stuff now.
There you have it.
And looking forward to the rest of the season.
All right. Third place finisher, Brett Stevens, comes home with a great finish, had a fast car, just came up a little bit short there at the end. But I think Alec is going to get caught up with our race winner, Miguel Colon.
Yes, sir. Miguel Colon, you got a copy?
Yes, I copy, guys.
Well, brother, man, what a great race. You by far had the dominant truck, and I was telling Eddie up here and all the viewers, you're looking like Max Verstappen out there, just leading every lap, stinking up the show, man. How was it just with the truck that you had?
Well, I think I had a good long run truck. That was kind of what I focused on making the adjustment today in the setup. I would say a lot of caution kind of helped into that. But I think I burned a little bit. I was too aggressive in the first thing. When we actually had a nice long run, then Brett started catching me. I was like, okay, maybe he's a contender. I need to be worried. I will be probably fighting with him at the end. And then that caution lap that came out later, that I was the last guy pitting. Like, iRacing told me the pit lane was open where I was at the finish line, and then everybody behind me was able to go to the pit lane. I was like, okay, this is like, frustrated at the moment. But when I saw the guy in the front leading, he had old tires. I kind of used that in my benefit. I was able to drive through the outside, and that kind of helped me to put me back in the race.
It definitely did. And then that final restart there, we saw Brett Stevens send it down to the inside. He backed out, thankfully. I think we saw that. And then you were side by side with Kyle Smith. How was it with that final restart? Did you think Kyle was maybe going to beat you at the end of there?
Well, I was hoping like no caution came in, when we did the start, because we were side by side. I didn't want the race to be end by he just out breaking me into the first corner. And then I messed up. I spun my tires a little bit in second and third year. That's why Brett kind of look in the inside. I tried to close the door a little bit to him. Luckily, he backed off. But then I would say that finish with Cal going to the exit of turn 2 and then the last corner, that was awesome. That was a nice fighting order, clean race. I would call it side-by-side door banging, but clean racing for the win order. That was awesome.
It was indeed, and we got about 2 weeks off break, and then we go to Gateway. How do you feel maybe going out to Gateway? Do you think maybe you can go back-to-back?
Well, I don't know. Last race, I missed the qualifying. I start from the pits. I'm finishing the top 5. So this time I was able to actually make it to the quali and race. So I think I could be maybe not winning all the races, but like being in the top 5 running for every weekend that I could make it.
For sure, man. Well, again, congratulations on the win. It was a stellar show here tonight. Is there anybody you want to give a shout-out to and thank?
Well, I want to say thank you guys for the stream. Thank you for the CMS community for putting this series. It's my first NASCAR series that I'm actually racing in terms of like a league. I was a long time I didn't race in NASCAR, so it's good to back in the ovals. I want to give shout out to our sim racing community for sim racing PR in Puerto Rico too.
For sure, man. Well, again, congratulations on the win, and hopefully we'll see you out in Gateway.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you. And there's your winner, Miguel Colon, driver of the number 87 Toyota TRD Pro. Man, what a great race, Eddie. Again, I cannot continue to reiterate how awesome that race was. And man, North Wilkesboro continues to put on a show, as even though it's been revamped, and hopefully we'll get to see the update here soon. But man, this wouldn't be possible without the sponsors. So again, thank you to all of our sponsors here tonight. IRTS, as they tried to put the best top level of esports competition here tonight. So again, thank you to them. Our Champions Circle, of course, as well as through them, you can get VIP Discord subscriptions and get great perks and benefits with them as well. So obviously, a big thank you to them for all they do for the Champions Circle. And of course, Storm Gang Simulations, they are an in-house top leveling modeling group for our Factor 2. If you're into those kinds of games, you can always join them and get an exclusive content from Champions Motorsports. And again, thank you to Champions Motorsports and V-Speed tonight for everything that they do. And again, thank you, as well as our partner for V-Speed. Calling action tonight was myself, Alec Martinez, alongside with my producer, Eddie Smith. And thank you to all who tuned in and watching tonight's racing action. Hopefully you'll stay tuned to our social media our updates, and obviously the championship series that's going on regular V-Speed with Bradley. They're doing a great job over there. And again, thank you to everybody who helps work on our production and our broadcast team, Bradley Cooper, Adam Baker, and Eddie Smith, for everything that they do here as well. So thank you for bringing and all of them. Thank them, because they bring you all this great racing action. And this has been an awesome race, and we thank you for tuning in. This has been a production of V-Speed. We'll see you next time at Gateway.